Welcome back to RaBBois. My name is Yitz, joined by my brother Tzvi, Brain Rot Central. Anyways, I realized that it's been exactly 1 year since I became a lawyer.
Oh my
So
gosh! No, congratulations! I'm
thank
actually
you.
really happy for you. Like
I'm waiting for
I
my
am.
present.
What?
I'm waiting for my present. My
Oh
1 year anniversary.
yeah. So if you want, you could go actually to cameo.com/notjewboy and you could get and you could buy an amazing cameo from yours truly. Actually, it's a great present. It's
Oh,
only
then
40.
I can finally have you say something to me
Yeah.
that I like.
It's it's only $40. And I think I raised my prices recently, and
Oh, really? That's funny.
yeah, I did one today ever since Hawk Tua, but that's not what we're talking about. We'll talk about that later. But yeah.
But anyways, usually November in Jewish world is we call it like boring month because nothing happens. The holidays just ended. There's no holidays for a while, so in all the high school, it's always boring month. But for me, it became more interesting because that's when I took in November. I took the LSAT. This is when I officially got accepted as a lawyer. So it's a bigger month for me, and I realized
You
I
said
can't
no.
forget.
All you're doing is proving that November is still in fact boring month.
Oh,
That's all you're.
very funny.
That's all you're doing. I'm just saying.
And it reminds me because my anniversary is coming up. Because November was kind of my.
Oh my
Oh
god!
yeah.
Anniversary. No, that's crazy. No, that's crazy that you mentioned that. Cause literally, like, I'm about to like send you this massive gift.
Oh.
I was gonna
sure.
I was gonna send you a
No.
cameo actually. But yeah, no, that's actually crazy that you mentioned that. Cause literally, like, about to send you that text. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to. Happy anniversary soon. I remember.
You know, when I was thinking about my anniversary, I always think about like my whole dating experience because mine, I guess, was a little bit different. In the Jewish world, it's always it's hard to like compare because we get set up on dates. Meaning, before we get into the whole process, you decide you're dating, and then once you decide you're dating to get married. And it's not like you're just dating for fun. Usually, I mean, some people like kind of go middle of the road, but at least when I was starting, it's like you're dating to get married, and then you tell your parents, they send out your resume, basically
Yitz, what's a resume?
a paper telling literally summing up your life in one sheet. It's kind of funny. It's
And,
like, this
and,
is
and you
me.
put your height in there, and some people put their eye color, and like if you're ginger, because it's needed. It's needed information if you're ginger.
Yeah, need information.
Very needed information. I was actually almost ginger, but thankfully we just got out of it. But yeah, there's many things on the resume talking about what they look like, how tall they are, their values. It's really good. It essentially it summarizes everything, and it gets rid of all the fluff. This is who I am.
Yeah, but to cut to the chase a little bit, then I'll explain is that I got engaged in 7 days. I got engaged in 7 days, which is why when I think about this time period, I'm like, I got engaged and like a few months later got married. So like this
Wow.
is like my engagement period. Like I always remember this is my engagement period. I know it sounds a little
Look
crazy.
how happy he is. Yeah.
So happy.
You're
I'm
very
so
happy.
happy.
Love marriage. Marriage is
Great.
great. It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
Children. It's a blessing. It's a blessing from God. You have
Every
that
time
now.
it is a blessing from God.
It is. Yeah.
Every time I bring up that I got engaged in 7 dates, even not 7 dates, sorry, 7 days, 4 dates, 7 days. People usually have like a little bit of a crazy reaction because they don't understand it. Because
Yeah.
people like it doesn't register in their minds because Jewish dating, even people who date in the Jewish world, because some people like give it a few weeks or something, like meaning dating for a few weeks.
Yitz is
But-
just really good at dating. He's just better than everyone else.
Straight up, I always give advice. I say, listen, like my wife says, I can't give advice because you have no idea how to date. My wife is actually the first person I dated, but I say it's completely the opposite. I was able to marry the first person I dated.
Because he's
So I
so
know
good
exactly
at
what
dating.
to do, which is really insulting to a lot of people. It's really insulting.
It is. No, because some people will go on a bunch of dates with a bunch of different people, so they could give advice for certain whatevers. But if anything,
yeah.
you got a good point. Like, what do you mean? I dated the first girl, and it was this quick, and we got married like that. So if anything, you're like the best at this.
Well, I did have some. I definitely didn't. I wasn't dating just to date, so a lot of questions I had were like straight to the point.
Yeah,
Which is
like
why I
we're
got
not wasting
engaged
any
with-
time here.
I was, yeah, like I'm not here to have fun. I'm here to fulfill the Lord's mission. We're getting married or not?
Do you watch Jew Boy, or are you like not a fan of that? Big, heavy hitting
Yeah,
questions.
that was a big one. I
Yeah.
don't think I brought you up for a little bit. I don't think you weren't that famous back then, so I didn't have to bring it up.
I had my little YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
You told her about that, right? My little YouTube channel.
Probably.
I had a little gaming channel before Jew Boy.
I think I remember when my wife met you for the first time. She was like, "Oh my gosh, is this Jew Boy? Oh my gosh!" Like,
and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know you told her about my little gaming channel."
Oh yeah.
Like a few thousand subs, and
wow, that was a while ago.
Time sure flies. Yeah, I've been on Talk to her ever since. Yeah, it's been crazy.
But anyways, how did I get engaged so fast? So I finished my last year of Jewish school, became a rabbi, and then I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna start dating. But in my head, I was like, I'm not gonna get engaged right away. I'm just starting. I'm gonna be maybe another year in yeshiva, and I'll have the year, whatever. I'll get married. Hopefully, I'll get married. Hopefully, like in middle of the year. But I told my parents, okay, find me a girl.
Yeah.
Or like find me someone to go out with. We literally like sent my resume to like a few people. One person says, oh yeah, I have this.
Well, there's people, right? Just to explain for those who don't know, they're called a shadchan, the matchmaker. You literally, their job, or sometimes it's a side job for them, is you give them your resume and they have other people's resume and they literally match you up and find you someone. And they take money from you.
It's like an AI algorithm, but with
they have
people.
Apps now that do it. What was that? There's that one Jew app actually. Forgot what it's called, but it's the same thing, and you could be like a shadchan on the app for other people. I'm pretty sure.
Is it JDate or no?
No. The J Swipe. That's something else. That's old school. Is it called Loop? It might be called Loop. I think. No idea. And it's basically.
I only did one for sponsor.
Yo, they should totally sponsor us. Oh my gosh, yo, Loop. I'm not telling anything about it because I want them to sponsor me. Continue. No, I'm serious.
So, I was flying into New York, and my parents said, "Okay, we have a date for you set up for like I think it was Wednesday." So I said, "Okay, great, fine, whatever." Not whatever. Like, hey, freaking out, but.
Yo, you were so scared. I remember Yitz was like addicted to RuneScape for like a bunch of months up until now because it was COVID, and then he went back to school. So he's playing RuneScape.
No, you're confusing things.
What am I talking about?
No.
You weren't addicted to RuneScape?
No, not then.
Yeah, you were before your dates. I remember.
No. You're right. No, yeah. I was explaining. So I became a rabbi. Then I had the summer. I went to Israel. Then I went to Florida for a little bit. Then I came back at a few weeks, and I didn't have anything to do because I wasn't starting yeshiva. I was like debating whether I should start college or law school. Like that was kind of like, do I start studying for the LSAT? That was where I was at. That was kind of the big decision. I said I'm not going to start dating until I know what I'm doing. So I was deciding whether I was going to study for law school.
That's a really great thing that you did, and a lot of Jews don't do nowadays, which is know what you're doing before you get married.
Everyone has a plan, and it's usually like real estate or like Amazon business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's great if you actually have some sort of plan with it. Some people got really successful doing it, but
some people are YouTubers.
It's upsetting. Okay, buddy, you listen here. I was on Talk to her, but there is actually a bit of a problem in just, I guess, the Chabad. This is a bit of a tangent. But in the Chabad system in general, where since we don't really do English in high school, we did because we're geniuses, right? We knew about this, but a lot of people aren't set up for, for like, if you're not a business-minded, entrepreneurial type of person.
It's all in God's hand. It doesn't matter.
Oh my God, I completely forgot. Oh my gosh. Wait, no, thank you for reminding me. Because I was about to say that they should like get a job before marriage.
What's wrong with you?
What are we talking about? Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Okay, so you were doing LSATs, right?
So I guess I'm not a full believer, so I was like, maybe like I should get a job. Like, I know. I shouldn't have done that.
No faith in the Lord. How could we even call this RaBBois? No.
So I think I did play RuneScape for like 2 weeks before I went to New York because I didn't have much to do.
You were so nervous. I remember for this
I didn't want to think about it. I was a little kid. I was like, I'm going on a date with a girl. Like, what's that? Like, we don't talk to girls. Ew.
You were older than me, and I was on Talk to her by that age. So I'm still
not over. I was older than you.
Yeah, I'm saying you were older than me. I meant. Yeah, you were much older than me.
Yeah, and I wasn't as famous. I wasn't having much going on.
But I'm not an immature little, right? I have philosophical conversations online and in person.
Gotcha. But your songs are real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that soon, but we should.
Oh my god.
We'll get to that.
No, but anyways, so I flew into New York. I went on a date the next day, and I basically like the first half of the date. The problem with a lot of dating, I noticed, even the Jewish world. I mean, it's standard custom. It's not a problem. It's standard custom, so to speak. The first 2 dates, you talk about fluff, which is fine, but like it gets boring. Like there's so much you can talk about, like not like in a bad way. It's not like so interesting to talk about like your yeshiva life or your seminary life all day because whatever. There's only so much you could talk about. You're there to talk. Like to me, interesting is talking about what I want to do in the future and this and that. But it's a little bit like overbearing to like talk about that right away. You have to get to know the person, but it's hard to get to know the person if you're just talking about like your past things you like to do. So you get a feeling, but like where's the person? Like
do you approach this like a Shark Tank interview?
Hell yeah.
Like, this is what we'll do, and it'll be like this, or that, and this is what I can provide.
I was, I could tell like me and my future wife that it wasn't like vibe. That we were talking, it was fine, but like at certain points, like it seems like it's getting like you're just kind of running out of things to talk about. Like how long can you talk about, your
so you had to stop
days?
And just ask the serious questions, like do you mess with skibbity toilet, and things like that.
Yes, that's what you should do.
Right, I should tell them like if my girl doesn't mess with skibbity toilet, then like she's not my girl. Yeah, I don't yeah. No. Sorry.
But I said, I think at a certain point I said, can I ask you like a few serious questions? Because I'm curious where your head's at. And honestly, I want to know like what you think, because we could be talking, we were getting along, but I was like, if I say like, yo, like,
you're there to get married, you're sick of the fluff, you're like, okay, listen, this is all great.
No, I need to know a few deal breakers. If I say, hey, do you want to have kids? And then she goes, nope, I don't want to have kids. I'm like, oh, so we shouldn't date. Like, you have to know a few like big things. Like I have a few red flags. I like probably 3 or 4 red flags. Like you must want to do X, Y, and Z because that's what I want to do. Not because I'm overbearing. It's just this is what my future is going to look like, and I want you to be part. If you're a part of it, then this is what we're going to do. And obviously, her being on board with it.
Of course, we don't force anybody to do anything.
Yeah, we're not. Never mind. I was going to say that. I'm not going to say it.
Just to continue. Yeah.
Yeah. So I asked her a question. I don't know if I want to say because every time I mention it, I get heckled so hard. I asked her a serious question, one that's apparently inappropriate to ask on the first date, not because it's inappropriate, just because it's too personal. It had to do with like finances, just along that line. Like,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, it sounds bad. No, because it was a very basic question. It wasn't
a bad question. It was just like at a right field, like a left
correct.
field.
It's not because if we don't, a lot of people in the Jewish world, speaking about things that people don't do, they don't talk about finances. And it's really hard on marriages in the beginning when they don't talk about finances. I was shocked. I talked to like dating coaches afterwards when I was engaged because I was talking to people, like people give me advice on marriage. And they said, do you talk about finances? I said, yeah, we spoke about it on the first date. And they were like shocked. First they said, what the heck are you talking about finances on the first date? I said, I don't know. Like, it's a big deal. Like, it's very important for a marriage. And they're like shocked that I knew that because most people do not talk about it. And they said they always get calls when the first few months, people call up and they say like we're having a hard time. And this person wants to spend, this person wants to save. And it's really
not no one, they're not talking about finance. Like I would, I'd talk about it in one of the, like, how do you not talk about finances
we were raised,
before?
Honestly, because our parents taught us to talk about it. Our parents told us to talk about it. People don't mention it.
I guess it's a privilege to know. Interesting, but
it's more like ask the question. People, I guess, don't think. Yeah, I guess we're privileged in that way. Like we know to ask because we generally have a good idea of how we want to, we want to have money when we grow up.
Yes.
People don't necessarily think about it. People don't think about it.
Well, because God provides, Yitz. So God provides, bro. So you don't need to think.
People actually are okay with that, but most people are not. Like some people are really religious and they say, yeah, it doesn't matter. God provides. Like really religious people. But then most people are like kind of normal and they say, yeah, but I kind of want to have things when I grow up.
It's very normal that God provides, Yitz.
Oh, sorry.
He like gives everything, right? He's like the greatest.
You're right. No, I apologize. Us weirdos
Media
people.
aren't holding on a high level, so we got to ask these questions.
Yeah, I'm not holding that level, so we have to ask these questions. So I asked a more serious question. And by the way, when I asked that, I didn't think it was a big deal. It was only afterwards, literally probably after we got married, that she mentioned. She said we were going over like our dating experience, and she said, "Yeah, probably you shouldn't have asked that. Like it wasn't like it was very basically it's just very like personal, I guess. It was very serious on the first date, and she doesn't really know who I am. But I was kind of more like I want to get your feeling on about how you view money and stuff because it's a big deal. And if you're totally
Well, this is not a good look, Yitz. It's
well,
not a
if we're
good
not on
look.
the same page, it really is a deal breaker. If you're not on the same page with your spouse about finances, not God forbid, when you're married, you're married. But beforehand, if you go on like 20 dates and turns out they have completely different views about money, it could be a problem. So I didn't want that to happen. So, anyways, but her answer was great, and we aligned and we talked about it. Well, it was a good question, and we had the exact same thoughts. It was beautiful.
Oh
And
my
it was the
gosh.
first time, and literally, when she answered her answer, which is exactly what I would have said, I was like, "Oh, there's something here," and it changed. It like changed everything.
Yitz got madly in love, and for the first time in his life, Yitz felt true love at that
Okay.
very moment. Wow, it's so
Okay.
romantic. Okay, so right, you asked about money, right? That's your first
Anyways,
date.
so we got rid of all the boring talk, asked about money, and then we basically our first date was 6 hours, 6 hour first date,
Just talking.
just talking,
Just talking.
and then yeah, and we're like, okay, we went home like after the date, went home, and you're kind of just like, okay, whatever. Like it's hard to really gauge anything. You're like, yeah, like we lined up on a few things.
I remember
And
we called after. We had like a post game interview, I think.
I don't know if I called you. Did I call you after the first date? I definitely called you. I don't know if it was the first date.
Oh, I see where I hold. Okay.
You were like
Yeah.
12.
Well, excuse me. I was not 12. I was 13. Wait. No.
No, you're
I was
older.
13,
You're like
14. And I gave you some advice. I low-key gave you some advice, by the way. What
that
did
was
I-
later. Yeah, I was gonna mention it. You did later.
I gave him some. I forgot what it was, but some.
Anyway, so that was Wednesday. First day was Wednesday. We went out again on Sunday. Same style date, but we really went through a lot of serious questions. We just did. We basically went from like fluff, and the second I asked that serious question on the first date, which was shouldn't have brought it up, it's too early. It switched, and every question was serious. And the second date was full of just. First, we were like talking fluff in the beginning, but then like we're like, hey, let's. I don't know. I kind of mentioned like I had a list of questions. I had a list of things. She said, "Go ahead, read me off the list." And it sounds so
It's
nerdy,
not
but
his
like
list. I forgot you had your little list.
I had my
of,
list.
Here's my red flags list or
It
whatever.
wasn't a red flags list.
It was
It was
what
a
I
list.
need list.
This is a list of questions that are really important questions, just like what happens when you get angry, all that stuff. Like how do you react when you're angry? How do you react
Honestly,
when you're
it's
stressed?
so nerdy and weird, but it's so smart. And people could be watching this and laughing at it, but it's so
Hell yeah.
efficient. And it really
It was very efficient.
Didn't people ask for that list from you?
I've sent it to a lot of people. A lot of
Yeah.
people.
There's
No,
probably
it
people
could-
that's going to be asking right now. Like they're going to be asking. You should check
Honestly,
for
I
that.
have no idea. I have no idea what people do. That they go on fluff dates for like
Yeah, same.
20 dates. I don't know. I could never do that. I'm too serious. I don't like. I'm not looking. I'm looking for a best friend and a partner. I'm not just looking for a best friend. Like, I guess some people just enjoy. Like, you can't talk to girls your whole life, and all of a sudden, like, you're talking to girls. It's fun, but it's also like to me, it was like I'm not wasting time.
I
Either
talked
I'm
to
getting
a
married or
girl.
I'm not.
I
What?
talked to a girl. I talked to talk to her.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're the problem.
Yeah,
See?
I'm the
I don't care.
problem. Yeah. Whatever.
But-
Let's continue. Yeah, there's random.
But anyways, so we went out again on Sunday. We went through basically a bit. The list of questions let me basically give me a full picture of who my future wife was and what she values and all that. And it was like check, like
Nice.
completely lined up. It was like freaky.
Which is
It was
lucky, by the way. I mean, that's just we're not lucky, but I guess
I was very blessed.
the scouting process really, really good.
Honestly, the person who set us up was super random. They didn't even look into us. They said, the family's nice, and our parents knew the family kind of. So then we're like, all right, we'll just go out because we saw some other resumes that it just it was very clear that they weren't on the same page as me. But he was the first one that was like what she wrote about herself was on the same page. So I'm like, hey, I'll go out. But like everything is check, check, check. Went on a date. So it was Sunday, I think. Yeah, Tuesday. We went on another date, either Monday or Tuesday. And that was when it really got serious because we talked about kids and stuff and like how we want to raise kids. And it was just like check, 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 check. And every date was 6 hours. And every date, like by the end of it, we're like, my wife she told me afterwards, she was like, I felt like we went on 10 dates. It was like crazy. Like how we went like, it was like from 0 to 100, like no stop. And it was like, at a certain point, it was like, this is too perfect, thank God, but also very freaky because I didn't see anything I didn't like. There was nothing I didn't like.
Oh my gosh. It's
not
so
in like
adorable.
I got very lucky, but also not like in terms of like serious things where it's
God
like
provides.
God provides. It's like serious things where it's like that's a real issue. Like is it a deal breaker? Like I think I didn't have any of those. Like people go through it where it's like the person's perfect in a certain way.
Yeah.
But there's one or two things where it's like, I'm going to be with this person the rest of my life. Like, will it bother me? So thank God I didn't have any of that. And then after the third date, it was like freaking serious. That's when I think I called you. I was like freaking out. I'm like 6 days in, 3 dates in.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and like we clearly liked each other, but I didn't really understand. I didn't like know because we only talked on the dates. By the way, we did not text or talk outside those dates. That's only when we spoke.
That's what's funny because you did it in reverse. So you knew that it's the opposite. You knew all the morals aligned, but like you still didn't really know her because you didn't do enough fluff. That's funny.
Yeah, I didn't do enough. You're right.
But you knew at the same time that regardless, we're still compatible. So
that is a very good way to frame it.
Right?
We knew that everything aligned, all the serious things aligned for a life partner in terms of we were freaking young, but that we could grow together.
I just don't know what food they like or what they like doing for
no
fun.
Fluff.
But it doesn't matter because all the morals align. That's funny. Oh my God, it's hilarious.
Yeah, we did it backwards. And I'll get to that in a second. So after the third day, it's pretty serious. I think like my future in-laws were like looking at dresses already. like they're like, all right, here we go. And we're like, what? Like I didn't know this, but like my wife is telling me like she's like, relax, guys. Like we're not engaged. Like calm down. They're like, no, we're like booking a hall already. Like they were like sold, and like they knew that because I guess every time my wife came home, she was like talking about me and talking about how things are like aligned and like whatever. So I called you. I called our brother. I called our parents. I was like, what the heck is going on, man? Because I thought I was gonna like date for like a year, but like it happened within the first person I landed off the plane into New York. I literally had to quit a job I just started. I had to like drop out of the school I was going to drop out of. Like it was like, and then I had to like apply for the LSAT. It was like, oh crap, I guess I'm getting married. So I called you. You gave me some advice. I think you said, if you like her, bro, or something.
Yeah, I'm the greatest at advice.
It was really good though. I was telling you, I said, listen, like we only went on 3 dates. I think I really like her. Everything aligns, but like, just like 3 dates. I didn't date anyone else. I don't have anything to compare to. And you're kind of like, do you like her? Yeah. So you like her. Okay.
Your morals, Yeah, I'm pretty, obviously amazing big brother, little brother advice. Sorry, fraudulent slip. And it was really quick though. I had a feeling you'd get engaged very, very quickly though. I had a feeling it would literally be one way cool. So I don't know why.
But anyways, yeah. So the next date, dude, kind of like somebody hinted like, is he going to propose? Like the people talking, like the intermediaries between the parents. And the answer was, I'm not going to on the fourth date. Like we're going to give another date for sure. It sounds stupid. You'll give it a fifth date, right? It's like,
yeah. It's been like less than a week. Maybe give them a fluff date. See who get to know each other a little bit outside the morals.
So but on the fourth date, we were like talking, and the whole first half of the date was like not tension, but like it was in the air. Like, what are we doing?
Hot.
Oh, relax.
Steamy hot. Wow.
It was more like we were walking and like we were talking about the fluff, like you were saying, but we're like, okay. At a certain point, like it was also very crowded where we were, and we're kind of like talking about this like fluff conversation, completely like dodging around the elephant in the room. Like, what are we doing? Like, are we getting engaged? Like, we didn't want to broach it because too early. Like, why would we bring it up? And then we went to like a quieter spot, and we sat down, and then we're like, "Can we just talk normally or something? Like, can we just like be real?" And then like my wife's like, "So when we get engaged, like I have to tell these people." And I said, "All right, let's talk about it." And then we went through whatever, we went through some stuff, and we said, "Okay, we're getting engaged, right?" And then it's kind of like, "Yep."
Yeah.
And then I did official proposal, but it was very anticlimactic. I was gonna set something up. I know I'm super romantic. I was going to set something bigger up for the fifth date, but we kind of just like, all right, like we know we're getting engaged. Let's just be engaged. And then I proposed, but it was very much like we did it together in a way. I didn't
Like,
have to,
what up, Shawty? You want to propose me type shit? And wow.
well, we wanted to speak on pure like, okay, let's like say we're getting engaged. What's gonna happen? Like, tell me everything I need to know about your family, like everything. We spoke on everything, and then we're like,
Oh,
okay,
was that when like all like the real like goss comes out? Like, okay,
yeah.
any last minute deal breakers? Like,
I said, let me tell you everything that goes on. Well, I
let's
said, let me tell you like
all of yeah, just all
of it.
everything.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you all this. Like all our values line up, but let me give you some background information about my
Just their
life.
family and just everything. Yeah.
Like, so you're not surprised by anything. Like, somebody walks into the door, you're like, what the heck is what? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but anyway, so then we like got engaged, and we
Oh.
called.
And you what?
We called our parents, and they were like freaking out.
I
Like
was
our mother.
there. I was there when you called them.
Oh, you were?
I was in the background. Yeah, you called. I remember you literally just call our parents, and then all of a sudden you just show the phone to your wife, your future wife, and then Ma starts freaking out, right? And she gets what's going on, and I'm just smiling, and yeah.
No offense, I don't remember you there.
Oh, really? That's crazy. I wasn't really in the phone. I was like in the corner.
You're hiding.
I was like, no, you called spontaneous, right? It wasn't really.
Yeah, it was like in the afternoon.
You
Yeah, it
didn't
was
warn
Wednesday
us.
afternoon.
They didn't know that they were getting
Exactly
an
a week
engagement
later.
call.
Exactly a week later.
Exactly a week. So Yitz got engaged after a week.
I think my in-laws were a little surprised when we called them because they thought I was waiting another date. I was going. That's why I didn't. That's why it was very like kind of like awkward in the beginning of that date because I wasn't. I told them I'm not proposing. Like it was kind of like I'm not proposing that date. But then towards the end of that date, we said you're proposing if next date. Like let's just talk about it. Let's just propose now. Like why do we have to like push it off a date for no reason? And it was all thank God. Thank God. People have a hard time.
So here's some questions. Were you forced to get engaged, Yitz, in such a short amount of time? Or
No.
we got to ask all the Jew questions, right? You literally
It was not forced. It was actually the opposite. Our parents wanted us to take more time, but we felt like there's no other gray clouds. There's nothing else I need to figure out.
Would you
If it was
recommend
serious,
this
it was
dating
happening.
method?
What?
Would you recommend this dating method?
I recommend talking about things that are important to you and you value earlier on in your dating so that you don't date with fluff for so long. And then when you start liking the person just because of all the fluff,
Exactly.
turns out they have nothing in common with you, like value-wise.
Yeah, that
Like,
I
they're a nice
agree
person.
with. Like, if
Literally-
it's been, what?
yeah.
What's up?
Literally after, like you were saying before, after we got engaged, I remember like a week later, because we got engaged, we didn't tell anyone for a week, except for a few people knew, and they'd like wink at me at Shoal, because like the people who had to know to host knew, and they're like winking at me, but like nobody else knew for another week, and I remember it was kind of nice because my wife told me afterwards. She goes, I remember getting engaged, and I was like, I don't know him. She's like, I don't know him.
Everything's great.
Everything's great.
You're right though. If it's been more than like, if you're looking to get married and you've been dating for like a month and you haven't really asked those questions, but you want to get married, you're not just dating a date. Like, what's the point? You're just kind of wasting your time. But and everything's
most
great,
people-
right? Like
What?
everything's. I'm saying
Thank
everything's
God.
great. Thank God. Like,
There's
how long you been married for?
5 years.
5
Almost-
years.
Wait, almost 5 or almost
You
6?
have an anniversary coming, exactly. But
Wait, hold on. I'm doing the math. No, 5. Coming up on 5 years.
5 years.
No, thank
5?
God. Honestly, you complain about things in life, but I got really lucky with my wife. I got really lucky because I talked to people who took a while to get married, and it's brutal. And I just got you don't know you're lucky till you see it. Like I was like, oh, whatever. I got engaged, like whatever, and I got married. But then I talked to people who took a while, and it's like you realize how lucky you are, how lucky I was. So very thankful. But also, I didn't know her. So, so, so I look at this time, and it's like I was getting to know her afterwards. We knew everything lined up, and I knew I really liked her. And I actually no, I knew I liked her as a person too. But like know her, like I only spent a week with her, and
Right.
only like 4 days with her.
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of the reverse where the fluff comes second, except when you hear about like these extreme, you meet each other once and get engaged in the like the
Yeah,
extreme, in the
that's
extreme communities. Which
We don't do that.
That's extreme. We don't do that.
Yeah, that's
extreme.
crazy.
That's crazy. What are you talking about?
But by the way, it was actually nice to. It took the pressure off when we were engaged. We're like, hey, we're engaged, we're committed, and then we're able to hang out, and there's no pressure. There's no pressure of like, because it's like once we got. By the way, at least the way I viewed it, once I was engaged, that's it. I'm engaged. And actually, in Judaism, you do like you have like a party, but you do like a.
You've been having
Oh, it's
acid
called-
reflux for like 20 seconds there.
I know, don't even, man.
Are you okay? No, yeah, like I'm just pointing it out. Like, is everything good? Yeah.
You
okay.
you lift a handkerchief, or some people use a yarmulke. It's like basically you're already doing the first action of getting married, so to speak, where it's a real action. Like it used to be in ancient Jewish days, the engagement was like half the marriage. Like you actually signed some of the contracts. So when I viewed it, it was like, no, you're at least in Judaism, it seems like in general, it's like you're engaged. Like you're engaged, like you're getting married. So it took off all the pressure. I knew this was the one who I was going to marry. So then we were able to talk, and it was great. I got married a few months later, coming up. So
Yeah, and I remembered.
when I think about this month, although it's Jewish boring month, there's no holidays, but it was definitely.
It was definitely eventful for somebody. Damn, that was low key. Honestly, I applaud you. That was a great like story ending. The way you put that, it was great. Let's go through. Should we go through some Discord questions?
Well, first I was going to mention that your stupid song.
Okay, all right, before you mention my stupid song, I just want to say that I think you actually dropped like a lot of wisdom here. So, like, round of applause. I'm not going to give you a round of applause, but theoretically, a round of applause. I think a lot of people could learn from that. And I'm definitely going to take some of that advice for sure. When I start looking, which I'm not, guys, I'm 21. Everyone calm down, okay? Give it.
Yeah, he has podcasts to be on.
Like a podcast to do, memes to make. But yeah, what were you saying
Songs
about
to
my
create.
song?
Songs to create.
Yeah, I have a song. You said.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thought the weather outside of his rizzy song was like a one off. Well, first of all, you milk it like a freaking cow.
That's
It's
my job.
crazy.
Yep.
And now you have like a full rendition. I didn't realize you had like freaking stanzas, and now you have people singing in lunchrooms, and it's on all these Jewish TikTok pages. I'm like scrolling on my feed like this account I follow.
The Jewish Twitter account discovered my page, and now they're posting me all of a sudden.
And now I see it. I'm like, it's hilarious to see you pop up, and like
Guys,
it's like you pop up.
Follow Yitz's Twitter, please.
On my Twitter. Yeah, I reposted
Link in
it.
description. Yeah.
And it pops up, and you're singing. And I just see I hear my brother singing this brain rot, and I say
it's actually revolutionary. Have some respect.
Speaking about getting jobs before you get married, like you could maybe you should sell something too. Maybe get into real estate.
Okay.
No, I'm just gonna sing brain rot song.
Yeah, it's the greatest song ever. And someone. It keeps on lasting for some weird reason because I keep on tracking it, obviously. But as Christmas season approaches, it's just inevitable.
Oh, I get it.
And people, right when it started dying out, Halloween was over. So now it's Christmas season, so now it's coming back, which I knew would happen. And there's videos of people just singing it in the lunchroom in front of everyone, just loudly in public. They don't care. It's massive. It's the biggest meme ever. And
you have to keep associating your face with it if you want to get a real.
That's what I've been doing. But you haven't been on my TikTok yet. So that's literally.
I know that's what you're doing. I say it's good.
Yeah,
because it's just a song. It's not you. You got to associate it.
Well, that's the plan. And
what's the next step?
It's gotten to the point where people have been singing my song, not knowing that it's me. Like just random people I know. It's been hilarious. The next step is Listen, we got Haktua, right? Which is game changing, and
People still think you're on it, by the way. Keep messing
yeah,
with people.
yeah, I feel bad. It's just a cameo, but yeah, people still think I actually got on there. But speaking of cameo, you can actually go on cameo.com/notjewboy. Okay, sorry. But yeah, we got some things in storage I still can't talk about, but it's not ending with Haktua. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be
It's gonna be massive.
Yeah, it's massive. Let's go through some Discord questions. You guys can ask questions in the Jew Boy Discord, so make sure to join if you haven't already. This guy says...
Oh, yeah, please. Our retention rate's like 4 minutes. So
it's really bad. Well, that's because we've been going viral recently. Usually it's like 10, 15 minutes.
Going viral, you say?
Yeah. It's massive. RaBBois is massive. What does Chabad Lubavitch mean in Judaism? Like literally, or...
I'll tell you.
Okay, let's go. Preach.
Well, Chabad is an acronym. It stands for Chachma Bin and Das, which is wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Meaning like Chabad...
Okay, it's a type.
Sorry, I totally blanked. No, Chacham
Okay.
Bina Das. Chachma is like the like the wisdom, like you get like a flash of insight. Bina is kind of like bring it down to understand it more, and Das is be able to articulate it and bring it out. What does that mean? It's a type of Hasidic philosophy where some people are more like, they dance a lot. It's all about getting inspired and dancing, those types. But we're more like studying and learning about God and why the world is created and what our purpose is. So Chabad is just that's philosophy, and we follow that philosophy. So we call ourselves Chabad.
We're a part of Chabad.
Lubavitch, but that's more of a philosophy. Lubavitch is a group of Jews who lived in the city of Lubavitch in Russia, and they have different customs.
It's a
they
city
learn
name,
Chabad.
and it means city of love.
Really?
Lubavitch. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, really?
I'm not even kidding. I'm almost
anyways,
positive.
So those Jews learned Chabad, and they interpreted it a certain way, and they have
from
customs
Lubavitch.
from Lubavitch. They're in Lubavitch, and like that's where the rabbis are from. That's where our rabbi is from. So that's what we call ourselves, because that's our sect.
That was great, Yitz. You did it. That was
pretty
great.
good.
Great. Yeah, that's good. It answers a good question. Can you explain the evolution about the practice of Judaism throughout the decades in history? This guy just asked for like a 10-hour documentary.
There is no evolution. Judaism is always the same.
It's always the same. Although the way we dress probably changes slightly, but the yarmulke has changed. It just needs to be a head covering, so it's changed throughout history. So I guess that.
Yeah, but generally speaking, the stuff we do, the laws, the foundations haven't changed.
Right. Explain Judaism in 15 seconds. Is that what it is? Wait, what is it?
Yeah.
Wait, is that the story?
Yeah,
There's a story that a guy asked. Well, who'd he ask? Go tell the story. You got it. I'm a genius, right? I'm Jewish. I'm a rabbi.
Somebody said, a rabbi once said, explain me the whole Torah, the whole Bible
Someone
in one
asked a
foot.
Rabbi, yeah.
I think it was, I'm not sure it's rabbi
Maybe
was.
a rabbi asked another rabbi. I forgot.
Yeah, said, explain me the whole Torah in 1 foot. So he said, which is love your fellow Jew like yourself. And that is the whole entire purpose of the Torah. Meaning none of it matters if you're not nice to your fellow Jew and person, not just Jew, okay?
No, it doesn't mean it says love it's your brother, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm triggered because Dan Bilzerian went on Piers Morgan.
Oh my God.
Talking about Jewish supremacy.
Yep. Majority of lies and crap, which honestly we should do that another episode because that's just a whole...
It is. It's crazy. It's like complete like...
They're platforming these guys.
The platforming is
sad.
one thing, but just like the straight up like... Just like... Whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll get on Piers Morgan one day.
You're not smart, bro. Like, you're not smart. You didn't discover something new. You're not like, I realized the Jews are in charge of everything. Like, you're so dumb.
Yeah. Anyways. Let's see. Do I wish more non-religious Jews would pursue Judaism more? I mean, yes. I think. I mean, everyone should do what they're comfortable doing, right? We don't force it on anybody. And
it's kind of like we want people to do good things in the world, and we want Jews to connect to their faith.
Yeah,
that's all. Meaning, because it's good.
I put tefillin on one of the dudes when I was in LA, one of the Hollywood Jews.
You know why? Because everyone's Jewish.
Because everyone's Jewish. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's it. You want to do the outro?
Sure. I
Do the outro,
I can't
Yitz.
do the outro.
Yitz can't do the outro. He also doesn't
Thank
know
you
how
so
to
much
segue
for
to an
watching.
outro.
Make sure to download on Spotify, like, comment, subscribe. Goodbye.